We're seeing a significant debate in Australia around the issue of asylum seekers and refugees. If you haven't been following the debate, the conversation specifically centres around offshore processing. Many people are unsure where they stand on this issue, and maybe yourself, as a person who has travelled and seen so much around the world, could share a perspective on it.
The real issue is, why aren't Australians immigrating to Vietnam or Papua New Guinea? Why are people from other countries immigrating to Australia or into America? Why aren't Americans immigrating to Mexico or Guatemala? Just this fact demolishes the myth of multiculturalism, that all cultures are equally valid, equally good, should be worthy of equal respect. The fact is that a lot of nations and a lot of cultures do not know how to live with civility, how to develop, progress as human beings. They are so brutal, so oppressive, that people flee from those cultures into cultures that were built on the foundation of the Bible and learned justice, peace, shalom, prosperity. The most effective way for countries such as Australia to tackle this issue of illegal immigration is, in fact, for Australia to obey God's command to and promise to Abraham that I will make you a great nation. I will make Australia or America a great nation. But through you, I intend to make all the nations great. I want to bless all the nations. So Australia, as it did help with East Timor in bringing civility and gentleness in that little island as it was being oppressed by another country, Australia should be fulfilling God's desire through Abraham to bless all the nations. If you have understood the secret of being a good nation which attracts immigrants, you need to share that secret with other nations. And the problem with countries such as in Australia and America is that they have listened to these foolish ideas of multiculturalism, and they are saying that the West really has nothing to give to any society, that we cannot teach Papua New Guinea or Papua how to be less corrupt and how to be more just and how to be more prosperous and more educated, emancipating your women, empowering your women and children, etc. Australia, in fact, does have the secret of how to be a great nation. That's why people are coming to Australia. And that secret, your education is burying and destroying, as we talked about in the previous question. But you have to learn back from the people who founded Australia and built a great nation. You have to learn from those secrets, not dismiss them that they were fools. In fact, they were the people who built the nation which is attracting these immigrants and refugees. So you have to learn from your ancestors, and those secrets you have to teach to the other nations, transform their nations, have a global mission. Then you will minimize, you will not completely eradicate, but you will minimize that problem.
Australia has many leaders of different cultural backgrounds. One person emerging from this fold is a youth of Indian origins who is leading the online lobby campaign site GetUp. Simon Sheikh identifies himself as an atheist, and the group claims to be a-religious. These youth are very influential for other Australians, particularly young people, when it comes to entering into the political sphere. They believe it's really important to keep religion out of all debates. What do you think?
Well, as an Indian, I'm very pleased that Simon Sheikh is creating waves in Australia. And when I visit Australia, I would love to have the opportunity to shake his hands and have a cup of coffee with him. And if he has the time, I would love to have a meal with him, get to know him. That is wonderful for him to feel that Australia is his country and that he should use his skills and abilities to make a difference to Australian society. That is good. to mobilize, galvanize the energies of young people to build a great nation is a good thing, because that is heart of the Bible. God says to Abraham that I will make you a great nation. However, when I meet with him, I would like to suggest to him that atheism is a myth. A myth is a worldview, a view of the world, which is exclusively the invention of the human mind. Atheism, by definition, is a view of reality which is an invention of the human mind. And it has an agenda. A scientific theory is also invented by the human mind, but a scientific theory is seeking to be true to facts, to discover all the facts, know all the data, and to be true to them. A myth is a theory, a view of the world reality which is invented by the human mind, but with an agenda, that I do not want to obey God's commands. I do not want my personal life, my sexual life, or whatever, to be under God's authority. So a genuine atheist has to be someone who knows everything, and therefore he knows that there is no God, there can be no God. But if you have only limited data and you assume that there is no God, there is no soul, there is nothing spiritual, then you end up, as Nietzsche did, against morality.
In a column published this month in the political popular blog The Punch, the columnist argues that religion has to be taken out of the equation when it comes to euthanasia, because then we'll find there are few moral arguments against it. So the question I have is twofold. One, what are the other moral arguments against euthanasia? And two, do you think we should always consider taking religion out of every debate? Many Australian Christians think so, and so do others, in order, they say, to make a stronger point.
I agree that religion should not be part of the public square if religion is myth, if religion is stories. But truth should be the heart of the public square, and Christianity and the Word of God, the Bible, should be central elements in the public square. So the question of euthanasia is, who owns human life? John Locke, who is the source of the notion of inalienable rights, his argument was that the Creator owns life. Therefore, no one has a right to take away my life, not even I. The fundamental right to life is so fundamental that even I cannot choose suicide, because it's not really my life. It is given to me, and it is given to me for all eternity.